So today when we start, I'm trying something new, ever trying to change and adapt. My PowerPoint presentation will translate everything that I'm saying in Spanish. So I will have both the English that I'm speaking and the Spanish translation at the bottom. I apologize if it's not perfect, but it's going to translate as I speak, and we're going to try to get the transcript in both English and Spanish so everybody has access to the information. Of course, if there's any questions or there's any issues, make sure that you reach out and we'll get that fixed so that everybody has the information. Just trying to get everybody in here and we can start. Hopefully I don't say anything too bad because it's going to pick it up on my translation.
Do we have a sign-in sheet?
We'll actually be taking that, sorry, Donna, to jump in. We'll be taking it from the registration sheet. So that's why we asked if you would please put your first name and last name. And that way we can track everyone's attendance rather than putting names in chat. Please obviously feel free to do that if you'd like, but everyone should have had to enter their first name and last name. And that's how we all get to know each other.
That is a good decision. That's the best one.
All right, Bill, are you able to do the waiting room?
Yes, it'll be interesting. I should be able to.
Can you take over that? Because I think I've clicked this thing 10 million times and I want to make sure that nobody gets stuck out there while I start talking.
Sure thing. Just 1 second, I'll go ahead and hop in. It might say that you're in the meeting twice just because I'm going to have to hop in from an incognito window just to be safe. Our things are just a little slow.
I'm still bringing everybody in. I just don't want anybody to get stuck outside.
Yeah, I get you. That for some reason, I'll let me turn off the even logged in is under your settings. It's not allowing me to to edit the waiting room. Hang on 1 second.
Okay, everybody, if you're just joining us, I'm just trying to make sure everybody gets in from the waiting room before I start. And I think I've cleared it now. All right. I'm going to start by sharing my screen. All right, can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Wonderful. Perfect.
Yes.
Yes. And my translation is coming in at the bottom. Again, it probably will not be perfect, but we will edit once it's over so we can give everybody a good transcript of the meeting. I had hoped to introduce myself in Spanish. I am still at kindergarten level and I'm afraid to embarrass myself and hurt such a wonderful language by trying to speak it with my Boston accent that I'm going to wait until our next meeting in August to speak in Spanish, but I'm getting there. It's been a little bit slow. So welcome everybody to our January all faculty meeting. If this is the first one that you have joined with us, welcome. For those of you that this is your umpteenth time coming to a fall faculty meeting. Welcome to you as well. As you know, we hold these to bring everybody together, to give you a little bit of some updates, to have a one voice heard across all of the faculty. And so we can give you some of the new information and things that are changing. We do have quite a bit of things to talk about today, but I am going to try to go rather quickly because we have a few other items that we want to cover. And I want you to, if you have not attended your faculty meeting on campus, I want everyone to be able to do that as well. So without further ado, I'm going to start.
Dr. Veens, if you wouldn't mind just checking the waiting room one more time. I'm still trying to work that, and I'm getting reports there might still be people in there.
All right, so I've just admitted everybody that's in there. I'll just keep taking a look back at that.
That's all right, and I'll chat you as soon as I get that figured out. It's giving me a little bit of trouble on a Saturday morning. Apparently doesn't want to join.
No problem. No problem. Anyone who does not know the person speaking back at me, that is Assistant Vice Chancellor Bill Lynch, and he is my tech guy. That's not his technical title. He's learning and research and project management, but he has always been the tech guy. So he's very, very helpful there. So AGMU is changing. And for those of you that have not heard all of the differences that are going on with AGMU, I wanted to start maybe at the then, where we were before, which was we were part of Systemic Energy Mendes University. We had a service provider agreement through AGMU Ventures. You might have heard those, but we were really just a piece of the puzzle as part of one system. We're still part of that system. The difference is that now we have the system at the top, we have our Puerto Rico campuses, and we have our US campuses. So AGMU is a United States not-for-profit college. We are still under our same parent company, so we still have the wonderful leadership of our parent company, but now we are able to operate as a US organization. We have our own licensing, our own accreditation.
Just to let you know, I do have the ability to monitor the waiting room. So you just keep on speaking. I'll just keep admitting people.
Thank you.
You're
so
welcome.
we are different now. When we started in August, we actually started under this new employer identification number, this new identity, and we're just going to keep continuing as that identity. I'm going to get rid of my picture because it's distracting. So as we move forward, some of the things that I think it's important for everyone to have a good understanding of where we're at is we want to know that we have gone through the Florida Commission on Independent Education. We did get our provisional institutional license. The board of directors made the decision to change the name to AGMU and to move AGMU to a Florida corporation and to put our US operations in order. This was very helpful because it's very difficult in the United States, unfortunately, to operate an organization that's from Puerto Rico when it comes to getting a lease on a vehicle, when it comes to getting a building, when it comes to having grants and any other type of.
You are in mute, Dr. Beans.
Yeah, you're muted.
You have your mute on, yes.
Am I back on?
Yes.
Yes, there you are.
Yes.
I don't know how I muted myself there. So for AGMU, we now are moving forward with our name is changed to Energy Mendes University. The Department of Education has accepted our name change. We received SARA approval, which means that we're licensed across the state so that we can offer students an education, whether they're here in Florida or whether they're in Texas or if they're in Massachusetts or wherever. We also have started to accept our new students, which was in August, and big news was the Florida Board of Nursing recognized AGMU as a separate organization from UAGM, and we have been approved for our associates and our bachelors in nursing. Big news there. That was a hurdle that we had to get through. So what's pending? We have our middle states accreditation. They are approving the ownership change. That should be happening between now and March. And in March, the Florida Commission on Independent Education will vote for the approval of that ownership change. Now, when I continue to say ownership change, please understand that the ownership change does not take us out of Sistema. We are still part of that, as I showed you in the previous slide. And as it shows here, the difference is that we are now AGMU under the AGMU University, so that all of our campuses are US AGMU. I wanted to give you that information because I think there's been a lot of confusion with who are we, what's happening, what's going on. And I wanted everybody to know that we are moving forward with these changes. So what does that mean? Well, we've done pretty good for ourselves starting since August, because since August, we have our enrollment, our total enrolled students is 7,091, and the total UAGM students is the 1881. Now, most of those students are either going to be graduating out, or by August, we'll be moving them into the AGMU programs. But that shows us that we have 5,210 students that are AGMU students. So those are students before we've transferred anybody from UAGM. So it's important that we move forward, understanding that this is going to continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Our growth numbers are going to continue. We have a niche that many schools want to have, but they don't. We are a Hispanic serving institution, and we have a culture and a history and a diversity that brings our students the education and the ability to rise within their industry, wherever they want to go. And we want to keep doing that. Amazingly, we have an undergrad and a master's population in the thousands. We have doctoral students on programs that we've just started to offer. We have a wide range of students in these programs. And no, they're not all huge populations in these programs, but we do have some that have quite a bit of students in them, and we want to continue that growth. So it's important for us to all start January in the new semester understanding who's where and who are these people we keep hearing their names and what are they to us. So I wanted to give you a little bit of an overview. I initially wanted to do this in a nice, pretty picture format, but I didn't have everybody's picture. So I gave you some names, but at my level with the academic administration, you're going to be hearing from people like Daniel, who's our scheduling director, or Anna, who is taking charge of our faculty coaching and mentoring. Carmen's doing contracts. So our part-time faculty members will receive information from Carmen and her team. We have Bill, as you've met already. If you don't know Lynette, definitely you want to get to know Lynette. Lynette's our academic advancement and faculty overall go-to person. We have a new academic recruiter. So she is Myrna, who is doing a great job helping our academic directors find faculty. Dr. Carla Padalano, she oversees all content and the delivery. And we know Raphael, we have curriculum through Alma, Flora is doing accreditation. Dr. Maria Bias does our license and compliance. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry, but this is part of the group that is supporting you. So at my main office, these people are all there to make sure that your content experts and your delivery experts and the faculty are all being supported. As we move further down and you see our school deans, this is probably a new thing for everybody because we have now turned our programs into schools, and our schools now have deans associated with them. So I did get their faces up there for us to take a look at them. A little bit of a change has happened over the last couple of months. So our arts and technology and engineering school is going to be a new school. And Gloria Vet's going to be overseeing all of those programs. We're bringing in Dr. Jillian Harrington, who is going to take on our health sciences. Jillian actually starts on Tuesday. Dr. Brito is our nursing guy across all of the campuses. He will be working with the current nurses on the campuses, but he's going to be overseeing all of the nursing stations and everything that we have to do there. Of course, we have Rosa and Janet and Juan are all going to continue to be running the programs and to make sure that our content is where it needs to be. Then you have your academic directors, and these are your delivery experts. And I say your delivery experts because these are your go-to people. For faculty, when you're looking to see what am I teaching, where am I supposed to be, these are your people that we lean on very heavily, and they do a lot. And they are absolutely a great group of members of our team, but they are in charge of the delivery on their campuses of what's happening and what's going into these classrooms. They're going to focus a lot more on making sure that classes are delivering the content that's supposed to be delivered, but also that content is coming from our content experts and that we're all saying the same thing. We don't want students graduating that don't get the same information in a program. As we look at this entire picture, I wanted to bring this to you so that you could see that the school deans are there for you to work with as faculty. They are there to help you with the content. The academic directors, the school deans, they work together to make sure that what we put out there to our students is valuable. The last thing that we want to do is give a student or have a student pay for a class and give them no education from that class. So this is your whole team. And of course, academic administration is there to support the entire group. So this is the new AGMU model. We started this back in August, but the picture has continued to become clearer as we've been going across the changes and the development through our licensing and accreditation. And speaking of licensing and accreditation, it does define a lot of what we do. Middle States accreditation is telling us on a constant basis now that it is important that we are reporting the requirements and expectations of our growth. It is important that our course syllabi are telling students what they're going to learn. It is important that we're linking our outcomes and that we're making sure that students are learning and that we're assessing that learning. And Middle States wants us to prove that. They want to see that we're introducing the knowledge, we're engaging the knowledge, and we're applying the knowledge, and that students are actually learning. So as we're working towards this, we're going to see some developments and some changes within our syllabi. We're going to see some outcomes that are really going to start to build on what a student is learning. Also, with our accreditation, licensing, and compliance, we want to make sure that we realize we're going for some program accreditations that are, much different than what we've done in the past. So if you look, we have more accountability, more transparency, and more academic integrity that's required. I'm going to stop for a minute and ask that everybody please make sure that you're muted because we're getting a bit of feedback from a few people. So please just double check that you're muted. So as we're doing this, what are we looking at? Well, we have Florida Board of Massage Therapy. We have Florida Board of Nursing. Both of them are checking on us, making sure we're doing the right thing. KCREP is coming through. We have Council on Social Work Education. As anyone who's in that program knows, we are under candidacy right now. So we're making sure that we're being very careful. Our ASIN eligibility application has been submitted. So we will be preparing our candidacy presentation for them in the future. There's so many more, but just adding a few in that we're starting to look at. We have many programs that we are going to look to see what's going to be the best program to offer for each campus, and how can we make sure that that program is going to be valuable to the students when they graduate. And fortunately, program accreditation is one of the easier ways to do that. It doesn't seem like it's easy, but it actually is one of the easier ways, because when you're program accredited, anyone who sees that knows that you've been through the rigors of that program accreditation and that you're being monitored. So one thing we have to make sure that we're careful of is engagement hours. I know that a lot of times we've had some small classes, we've had some situations where there's been virtual needs for classes, but the standards require that we give 45 engagement hours plus 90 hours of student prep time for any 3-credit course. So how do we do that? Well, we give you the class time, which we have those 4 hours a week for classes in general, but those additional hours of engagement, those have to be faculty engagement created, or engagement created by faculty. And that can be done with involvement in, immersion into a learning activity by a student, quality of their effort, depth of their engagement, how invested and involved are they, how the interaction piece we get in the classroom when they're interacting with their instructors or their peers, but that can also be an external thing with group work, or work in different types of situations where they're doing case studies or modeling. And we have to be intentional. We need to design these learning activities that they're intentionally giving the students this engagement. This is becoming more and more important. It's more of a conversation that's out there in the learning communities, is the lack of engagement outside of the classroom. So as you're thinking about this, remember that we want to find ways for these students to remain engaged. And it could be something as simple as, if you're teaching a marketing class and you tell your students to go to the grocery store, which they go to anyway, and take down information about the grocery store, that's an engagement outside of the classroom that when they bring that back in, it is something that can be used as part of your engagement time with the students. So we need to keep focusing on engagement. And I want to bring back COVID, because this is where I think we started to feel a little bit of the lack of engagement time, is we left a lot of unfinished learning happening. There's a theory out there called the COVID slide. And what that COVID slide is, it's saying that the class structure, the time on task, the rigor, it all changed during COVID. Well, we know that our whole lives changed during COVID, but the result for our students ended up with a decreased learning from one class to another. It resulted in less knowledge at completion. So if we have students who went through our program 2 years ago versus going through now during the COVID time, they're learning less. And we have to stop that COVID slide, because I feel that we all are in the same place of understanding that I don't think COVID's going to go away anytime soon. I think we're always going to have something that we're going to have to look out for, or something that we're going to have to protect ourselves from. We've always had that, but it's never been as much as now with COVID. But we do have to keep the learning going, because we can't look back 10 years from now and say, well, I didn't learn that because it was COVID. That's not going to work for any of us. So what must we do? We must bring back effective learning. We have to re-engage, we have to recommit, and we have to reimagine. And sometimes that's going to mean, a rush to online learning or a rush to virtual learning because of an upswing in the COVID numbers. Or maybe that's going to mean that we need to continue to support students when they do get ill, or we need to come up with a plan so that if we get ill, we're able to still have our students get their learning done. And I look back to the days of my children being in school, and the teachers had their sub boxes, and they would have a box full of what the substitute had to do. Well, we're not asking you to go to that extent. We definitely should have a plan on where you want your class to go, because if you're out for a week and you come back, we want to make sure that the students didn't lose that week of learning. So what are we hoping that you'll help us with? We need to stop and fix this COVID slide. We have to return to time on task and rigor immediately, regardless of how you're teaching your class, whether it's virtual, whether it's in the classroom, whether you're in the classroom and you have students that are across the state in Miami or in Tampa, and they're taking your class, however you are teaching your class, we need to get back to the rigor and we need to get back to time on task. We have to start finding ways to fix or to evaluate what's going on with these students. Maybe that's a pretest to prepare your student to see how prepared they are for your class, but also to prepare you to teach that class. Maybe it's to put some recovery strategies in place, or to put some positive intervention if you're seeing that one student or two students or a group of students are not ready for a particular topic, especially when it's a building topic. We want to make sure that we're giving you reinforcement tools. So one of the reinforcement tools that is coming very quickly is Canvas. You are going to be able to take your Canvas and put your added lectures. Maybe that's a lecture that you do yourself, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's just a TED Talk or a Khan Academy or a valuable YouTube video on your topic to just give them another means of having that information outside of class. We want you to continue to support your students and we want you to continue to have empathy, but we need to continue to reinforce accountability. So if a student does get sick and they are not able to come to class, we can't just wave those assignments through. We need to find a way to get those students to still complete that work. And that's okay if we give them an incomplete. I would much rather see an incomplete and give them the time to finish that work than have our bell curve of grading have an A on that class when we know the student wasn't able to attend. We want to make sure that we're keeping the rigor and keeping the accountability here. And when I say all of this, please understand that this is not an accusation against our faculty at all. This is absolutely let's start with a clean slate and everybody understands where we're supposed to be, and any messages previously of, be careful, the students are fragile right now, there's a lot going on. We still need to have empathy, but we also want to make sure that we increase this rigor so that we can start to show that Anna G. Mendes University is elevating the Hispanic student and bringing our students to the next level in their careers. And if you have not seen our new ad campaign that's been out there, elevate is a word you're going to hear a lot, because we are working so very hard to elevate our students, elevate our curriculum, elevate our programs, and elevate our faculty. And so we want to make sure that we're reinforcing that accountability for our students. So some news for you. I mentioned the associates and bachelors in nursing. Yes, we've got Florida Board of Nursing approval and the classes start in March. So we are so excited to move forward with this. ASIN eligibility application has been filed. We're hoping that we're going to get our candidacy presentation in, and by the time we offer this, the associates and the bachelors, we will have our ASIN accreditation candidacy done. We also will be getting that for all of the nursing programs. We're always looking for subject matter experts. One of the things that's happening is we are moving all of our Spanish courses into Canvas. Our English courses have been moved into Canvas, but they're still being built. We are looking for experts. And guys, in my line of work, in my time, coming from, a large online educating population of students, as well as, our students here being online, on ground, we know that our faculty are the experts. Because if I go and I hire somebody who's an expert in the industry, they can give me content, but they can't give me how to give that content to the student. A faculty member is my expert, but also knows how to deliver it. So if you are interested in doing SME work and being a subject matter expert, that doesn't take away from your teaching, and may actually even be you do the SME work for a course and then teach that course. I always love that model, because then we know that you find the errors when you're going through it. Please make sure that you let us know that you're interested, and we will definitely start to put that list together. Coming soon, We are working towards our new email addresses are at agmu.edu. So you will start to hear from that. We're trying to get the Active Directory of the students over and the logins to Canvas. So there's a little bit of a process going on there, but you will start to hear that. Canvas is coming for all. So we are in the process of transferring over the Spanish classes. We had done the English classes already. That will continue to move forward. And the newest bit of information is that we are looking at offering courses in 6-week sessions. Those 6-week sessions will be for almost all programs. The doctoral programs won't move. Some of the master's programs won't move. And we will also keep when we have externships or we have practicums or we have clinicals, those will also stay in the week scenarios that they're in. They will not move to that 6-week, but it's exciting to think that this might be a way that all of our classes are going to move to that 6-week, and it will be less stress, I know for a fact, on our academic directors who are currently doing 6-week scheduling and 8-week scheduling and English, Spanish bilingual. This will give us a little bit less of that number, but it'll also increase the number of students in your classroom. So that's a good thing, because we will have less of those low enrollment classes. So that takes pretty much what I wanted to tell you. And Dr. Claire Brady was not able to attend today, but she did leave a message that she wanted me to deliver. So I'm going to give you some information from her. And you can, of course, read this, but she was unable to make today's meeting, but she wanted to make sure that everybody is on the same page. We know that census has been a little bit difficult for some people, but understand how important it is that the census is done. If we do not report that a student is not in the class or that is in the class, we actually have some issues with financial aid. We can get ourselves into trouble. We never want to do that. We want to stay on the good side of all of our regulatory and financial aid, of course, in the Department of Education. So faculty, the first part of this attendance tracking is new. You are required to submit it during the first week of each PT, not 2 weeks. So you're going to go in and let us know if a student has not attended. This is going to help us so that we can go and find out, is the student actually coming to class? If they are coming to class, okay, what do we need to do to help that student to get into class the next week? If they're not coming to class, let's get them dropped so that they don't end up paying for a class that they're not going to take, but also so that you don't constantly have them on your roster saying, where is this person? I already reported them 100 times that they're not coming. We want to make sure that this is an easy process. We jumped into the Cognito forms the last time. I'm going to show you on the next slide. We've done some adjustments to make it a little bit easier. And you really should be reporting within 24 hours of each class session. The sooner you report, the sooner we can engage the team to go and figure out what's happening. And that is really important. So if you also make sure that you are dealing with the student success coaches on non-attending students, make sure that we get the students in those classes as soon as possible. If you hear from a student, let us know that, because we really want to make sure that we're giving the students the best opportunity to get into class. And we all know that if we wait 2 weeks into a session and then we get a student into class, that student's never going to catch up. It's never going to be the same as if they had been in class. So let's work as hard as we can to identify those students that we need to figure out why aren't they in class and how do we get them there. Census occurs on Sundays at the end of the second week of each PT. So the students can then request reinstatement for valid reasons by the deadline that's marked. But students marked as non-attending, they'll either be administratively withdrawn from the course, and they're required to pay 25% of it out of pocket. They can lose financial aid, they can lose VA benefits. So the sooner we have the information on a student, the sooner we can actively be involved in figuring out what the process is to get them back into class or to get them off the roster. Also remember that when you're filling out the form, we've tried to make it a little bit easier so that you're able to put some fill in the blanks. I know the last time it was more of an open sheet. Make sure that we're getting this done. And if you're having any type of system issues, or if you're unable to get your census numbers put in right after class, please contact your academic director. Make sure that they will help you. Make sure that they know that you're having an issue versus just not getting it done. Because these are now being reported to the chancellor. They're reported up to me, and then they're reported by Dr. Brady to the chancellor. We need to make sure that faculty are complying with this, because this is a very important piece to the puzzle for students. The dates, we've listed these here. They're also listed in, I believe, in various places that Dr. Brady has sent some emails. The registrar has sent some emails. This presentation will go out, so you will have this information as well. But please make sure that we get those census done after every class. We're reporting the students, and then the census is going to be easy because we'll know exactly what's happening by the time we go to report. Your student affairs campus contacts. We know that everybody is on different campuses, and they may need to report out, whether it's to main campus. If you don't know who to report to, Dr. Brady has put the information here, but whoever's on your campus, and you can always make sure that you contact your academic director to ask for this information if you don't have it. So as we finish my part of today's presentation, and I hand it off to the others who have lots of important things to tell you, I just want to remind you that one of the things that I always feel is that our team is stronger when we're doing things together, and when we're moving forward, and when we're communicating. So if everyone is moving forward together, then success takes care of itself. This is important for us. As AGMU, we are going to continue to grow. We have a great team pushing our academic product, our students to get that education, to get back into the classroom. But we definitely need to see excellence. We need to see our team working together. And if there's something that is wrong, or something that you feel needs to be changed, please reach out to your academic director, your content dean, the dean of the school, or the content specialist. Reach out to my team. Let us know what's happening, because we want to be able to help you. We've put into place Anna and Lynette to do much more of the faculty training, so we can make sure that you're getting your 8 hours of training that needs to be done each year. We have a system in place to start to monitor and make sure that we're giving you as much academic additions to your portfolio base when it comes to teaching students. And we're welcoming you to come and present for the group. If you have something you want to present, call Lynette, let her know. Her and Bill will get it set up, and we will have a presentation for all faculty. And maybe it's something that it's about engagement. Maybe it's something that's about elevating your students. Maybe it's something in your topic area, and it may not be across the board that we want to invite, but maybe it's people in your area. Disseminating information is one of the most important scholarly things that you can do, and we want to encourage you to do that. So that takes care of that. We know human resources needs to give us some updates on COVID. We also know that Bill is going to talk to us a little bit about some learning and research and project management items we need to know. And then Dr. Catalano will give us a quick update. So Bill, I am going to stop sharing.
Just spoke to Yanamar. She and Jeff are ready, and so if they are on, feel free to jump in. If you need hosting, let me know. I'll find you the host.
Yes, I am here. Let me see if I can share. Good morning, everyone.
Good
No,
morning.
I am not able to share my screen.
Good morning.
Yeah, just give me one. So, and you can be the host, please.
All right, I just made her co-host.
Perfect.
Right, perfect. Let's see. Can you see the slide?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. So good morning, everyone. For those of you who do not know who we are, my name is Yalimar, and I'm here with Jacqueline Vieira. We are both part of the HR department. What we just want to share with you is just some information about updates on the ADP platform and, of course, the COVID-19 protocol that we are following. First of all, crazy tax season is coming. So the W-2 forms are available in ADP. You can have access to your current annual statement and, of course, to the past 3 years of it. ADP is very user-friendly. You just have to go to My Self tab. Under My Self tab, you can go to Pay and look for the Pay tax statement or annual statement, depending on the setting up of your page. In addition to that, you can download the documents for you, and the ADP go back 3 years from the current year now. For us, it is very important that your information is up to date, especially to the academic department. You can keep, if you have access to ADP, you can update your personal data, meaning mobile phone, personal email, and of course the emergency contact. That way we can communicate better in case of any emergency. If you still don't have access to ADP, you can visit the website and visit workforcenow.adp.com to create your account and have access to your personal data and employment profile. And also we have a website of employee discount that you can have access as well too. All right. So we are hiring. If you are looking for new opportunities, and of course, if you have a friend looking for a job, share the good news and let them know that we are hiring in our different locations. We have opening with all of our campuses, including the main campus, which is our corporate office. We have positions like admissions officer, financial aid officer, senior instructional designer, assessment coordinator. So you can find the job posting in Indeed, and of course in our career center in ADP, or you can also send your resume to the talent acquisition team at hr-recruitment@uagm.edu. All right. I'm gonna leave you guys with Jacqueline.
Thank you, Yalimar. Good morning, everyone. As Yalimar was saying, it's very important that you have access to ADP. We still have some faculty, they're not using ADP. So all this information, any announcements or the COVID-19 procedures or any updates, it will be listed in your ADP. So it's very important that you create an account. As Dr. Bean was talking about the COVID-19, here's an update. We are following the guidelines for the CDC. We are still having our protocol of cleaning, all the recommendations for the classroom, the social distance, the mask. If you go to our campuses or locations, you will see the security guard taking the temperature. That's still taking the temperature. Make sure you have a mask. That is a mandatory for our campuses. All your students and professors have to wear your mask. The only thing that we have changed, and this is by the CDC recommendation, is if an employee results positive to COVID-19, should isolate it for 5 days. But you need to notify the Human Resources Department. So you need to contact either Yalimar or myself and tell us about your situation. If you don't have any symptoms and you're resolving without fever for 24 hours, you will be able to return to work on your 6th day. And you will, the rest of the 5 days, you will be working, wearing your mask and maintaining the social distance. If you have been exposed, doesn't mean that you are positive or you have the symptoms, so you can still work. Only if you start notifying symptoms, that's where you will need to contact us, and we can alert the protocol and put you in quarantine for 5 days, okay? I know there's a lot of questions. Okay, in my house, examples, I'm going to give you some examples. In my house, I have someone that is positive. I live with that person. But if you're not, you don't have symptoms, you're vaccinated, the CDC says that you still can work. Of course, you're going to follow our protocol, which is wearing your mask. And in our operations department, safety department has make sure that all the campus have all the equipments. We have hand sanitizers in all locations. So it's there for you to use it, and make sure that if you have a student, to notify the student affairs department, okay? And I know you will have some questions later on, but you can just write in the chat or send us an email, okay? And any questions, we are open to answer and help you through this process, okay?
All right, so thank you so much.
I know it was very quick, but we just wanted to make sure we're still with the protocol of the COVID. The only thing that has changed is the 5 days quarantine, okay?
Perfect. Thank you so much. That was it's good to know that it's changing to 5 days, but you know, these updates, I'm sure it's very difficult to stay ahead of them. So thank you for updating everybody with all that info. All right, I can just jump in here. All right, Dr. Padalano, would you like to take a few minutes to talk about faculty developments for 2022 before I jump in?
Certainly, thank you. So I've met some of you, others, I'm probably a new face. My name is Dr. Carla Padalano. I am the Associate Vice Chancellor of Academic Content and Delivery. And if it's at all possible to show that screen again with the school deans, that would be fantastic. So you can be looking at that instead of my face, because that's the information that really I want to talk about. We are going to be, as part of what Dr. Veens talked about with rectifying the COVID slide, we are going to be focusing on that re-engage, recommit, reimagine, initiative that she mentioned, and that involves all of you and these school deans going through the content basically in every program, looking to see where we need to update things. What has transpired in the last couple of years that's not COVID related, that's related to content that we want to share with our students and make sure that they are current and well positioned to be successful when they leave AGMU. So my role primarily is to focus on that content, is to spend time with the deans, with those of you that might be program directors in addition, and with faculty to make sure that we are providing the best possible education to our students. So content and delivery is all that I do, right? So as well, those of you that teach for online English probably know that Dr. John Britt's last day was Friday. And so I am spending some time overseeing the academic side of things with the help of the fantastic student success and retention team, and of course, with the help of all of the other parts of the university that make everything that we do work. But we're making sure that the students and the faculty are taken care of in online English as we look for Dr. Britt's replacement. And then I know that Dr. Veens mentioned it earlier, but I'm really excited about the differences, the way that we reorganized the schools and the deans. I know we're excited as well. We do have a new dean joining us. So many of you who work in the health sciences field, not nursing, because that's a separate area, right? We'll get to know Dr. Jill Harrington when she starts next week. So I just encourage you, if you have any questions, I saw a lot of questions in the chat. How do I get involved as a SME? I am so thrilled to see so many of you are excited about doing this. This will make everything that we do so much easier. I, like Dr. Veens, firmly believe that it should be the faculty that teach these courses that make the changes where possible, because you then can try it out. You can see what works, what doesn't work, as she mentioned, and you've seen what's happened in the classroom, and you probably have already been mitigating the things that just really didn't work in the past. But let's codify that. Let's get it put into the course as a permanent part of the course, so that we can all benefit from that and not lose that valuable information that you have shared. So with that, I will say welcome. Let's have a great spring, and thank you so much for everything that you all do.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Padalano. Dr. Veens, would you like to add anything before I get started?
warn me next time you want me to put something up on the screen. I had closed it already, so sorry about that. No, I think that I talked long enough.
All right, perfect. Then I will go ahead if you don't mind. Okay, can everyone see our wonderful faculty coaching and training slide?
Yes.
Perfect, perfect. All right. As Dr. Veens mentioned, faculty coaching and training, obviously this is a new year. I know, this is a new administration and we are making a lot of progress and excited about what's coming up for the next year. And sorry, I'll move myself so that light's not in the way and what's coming up. And one of the areas that, or two of the areas that really, caught our attention were faculty training and coaching, and making sure that we're doing everything on our end to make sure that faculty are supported, faculty feel like they have, enough opportunities here that you're getting, not only, are you getting paid for your instruction and getting the time from your students, but you're also feeling that the university supports you as well. So I will start with the incomparable Director Lynette Caballero. Again, if you don't know who Lynette is, welcome to AGMU, because those of you who have been here for more than a day I have a feeling that you know who Lynette is, and she is tireless in her efforts to ensure that that we highlight our fantastic faculty here. So working in 2022, we'll have a new model for faculty training, those professional development hours. And I know a lot of you have been hearing from us pretty regularly and from Lynette and our faculty coach, Ana Gonzalez, for the last few months about getting the professional development hours in. And Lynette has done a phenomenal job of making sure that we have workshops and webinars scheduled and in place so that we can get those hours, so that it's not having to nitpick what is and what is not counting. So in 2022, what we have decided to do is go to a universal workshop model. And what that means is that we want to make sure that all campuses, be it online Spanish, online English, Tampa Bay, South Florida, Metro Orlando, Dallas area, wherever you're a faculty member, you have the ability to jump in on these thought leadership or technical or tactical workshops, just to make sure that we're providing that, taking a little bit of that pressure off of the academic directors so that they're able to continue to do the day-to-day work that they do so well, and making sure that we have opportunities for everyone to just kind of push that academia needle. Where appropriate and where possible, we will have offerings in Spanish, as many of you have seen with Joshua Torres's workshops on microaggressions. We had a version in Spanish and a version in English. Thought leadership like that, wherever we can, absolutely we want to put it out there, because granted, as Dr. Veens mentioned, we are an English speaking university, and that is the language that will be unified across all platforms. We still want to acknowledge and respect and appreciate that that might not be everyone's primary language, and make sure that we have the ability to access these ideas in a native tongue that makes you feel a little bit more comfortable. With a lot of the technical and tactical workshops, be it Canvas or Census, things like that, those may only happen in English because that is how we have to deliver them, and we have to have those materials and in just one language. But we are working hard to make sure that we open up opportunities for all those languages. We're moving to multi-platform status, so we'll be leveraging Canvas quite a bit as we get more comfortable with that. I know that PT81 is just launched with a number of on-ground courses in Canvas, and that's new and exciting, and can't wait until we can really utilize that platform 100%. But we'll start to see the workshops be placed there. We'll have a faculty resource center. It's sort of a virtual teachers lounge. I'm sure I've mentioned that before. Everyone's probably heard that from me before. But that area is going to be sort of the one-stop shop for faculty to find things, be it something that an academic director sends out. There'll be groups. You'll be grouped by campus. but they'll also be universal. So research opportunities as we come up and put more time and thought into grant writing and put more effort into making sure that we can extend those opportunities to the faculty. Things like that will show up. I know Thomas Santana sends out his quarterly updates about where grants are available and what funds are available. And so those tend to get lost in email or maybe not make it to new faculty. And we really want to make sure that we have the ability there to deliver that and access it. I don't know about any of you, but doing the search in Outlook doesn't always bring up exactly the email that I'm looking for, or the keyword that I think will bring up the right information. So being able to just go into Canvas and find a section on trainings, find a video, find a flyer, find anything that was sent out is how we're going to really make sure that everyone feels informed, up to date, and capable to keep track of all the communication that goes out. We'll be using Zoom quite a bit more. Here is a perfect example. We're in Zoom today, not Teams, but Teams will still be sort of at the local level what we use for day-to-day communication. That's still a good channel for us. And soon, I say soon, but hopefully it's sooner than later. It's a very large project, anthology. So anthology student, anthology accreditation, and a few more of the anthology models will replace Banner, Argos, and other internal sources to make it a more unified approach. Rather than having a number of versions of Banner, we're going to have just one version of anthology. It's a fantastic student information system, very user-friendly. I am very biased. I've worked with it for a while and I enjoy it. So we'll see that roll out within the next year and a half. Some things will come on sooner, and you'll hear about that from academic directors and from the main campus administration as we move through that process. There will still be campus-specific workshops. So there will still be workshops that pertain just to campus information. So if you are in the Tampa Bay campus, Carmine does a lot of work to make sure that everyone is up to date with everything, as does Rosa Musi, Dr. Nadarse, Denise Colon, and now, unfortunately, John Britt's replacement. I know Nancy, you as well, in Dallas do a lot to make sure everyone knows about what's going on, specifically at the campus level, and those will still happen. And academic directors are encouraged definitely to continue to offer those. Those don't have to be universal. Those can absolutely happen at the campus level. Anything that happens universally will go through Lynette. Lynette is the person that we are putting in tasking in charge with making sure that all the trainings have a certain level. So sometimes Lynette can be very direct. But please know that if she comes back to you with edits on a presentation that you've talked to your academic director about or brought up to her directly, please know when she comes back with edits, it's not because of the content, it's not because of how you've presented anything, it's just so that we can ensure that we have sort of a unified feel, so that we don't have the peaks and valleys of, wow, that was a really great presentation, and then the next one maybe not so great. We want to make sure the content, and especially your content, if you're the person presenting, we want to make sure that everything's highlighted. It's really why are we doing this new model? Why change certain things, right? We really want it to be a more cooperative environment between the school deans, the academic directors, and the faculty. Some campuses may have phenomenal faculty and have a quicker way to get presentations and webinars out there. But that should be opened up for all other campuses. We want to make sure that no matter where you are a faculty member, if you've got something to say and you've got a presentation and you're a subject matter expert, we want you to be highlighted. And so we can sort of spotlight people. We want to build thought leadership in addition to not just the technical and tactical. Learning how to do your job here is fantastic. We really appreciate that. But we also know that, we want to open up the idea pool and give everyone an opportunity to really think about the day-to-day, what are we doing? You know, where is the world going? What's different? What areas have we in our own world not explored? Microaggressions, again, I've mentioned it, was a fantastic webinar. I got quite a bit out of dimensions of wellness, which was fantastic. I went to launch the webinar and ended up sitting there for that full 3 hours, just glued to the screen. Very, very taken with the information there. That was fantastic. So, you know, if those are happening, we really want to make sure that we're making a well-rounded faculty. And mostly, it's really just to highlight all of you. You work hard, you're out there, you know, in your fields, you're here in the college. You are our people, you are our faculty. This college would not run without you. And we want to make sure that you have a platform to showcase, to show off a little bit, to stretch your legs academically and put information out there and have a discussion and really make us all, you know, a little bit, elevate us a little bit more. I know that's the key term for this year is elevate. And so that's what we really want to do with our faculty. You can see below, we have quite the hefty schedule for the next few months. Flyers will go out closer to the dates. They'll go through your academic directors or the existing channels that Lynette uses to send out the flyers. What the model essentially is until we are all in Canvas and until Canvas is, you know, fully up and running, is that the live webinar will happen. If you're unable to attend that, that's totally fine. The following week, a link will be sent out to a Google form where you will answer a few questions, watch the webinar, and get your certificate that way. So please don't feel like you're going to miss any of this information. We record absolutely everything. We put it out there, we put it out through Google Forms. And then as we get into Canvas, it's going to be even easier because they'll all be sort of cataloged there for you to access at any time. So you could watch, you know, however many times you would like to sit through a webinar. If you'd want to refer to it, fantastic. Great topics coming up. Human trafficking. We had a Spanish version of that earlier or later last year, and now we're kicking off this year with an English version coming up in just 2 weeks. So please watch your emails for those flyers. I know Lynette will be sending those out shortly. In February, we'll move over to Canvas. We'll start doing more Canvas training, more Canvas awareness. The walk to class, I'm working with our production team to get everyone, whether you're currently teaching in Canvas or not, into that system so that we can continue to orient people to that and to make sure that you understand what you're doing before you get into a classroom. Let's be sure to mute our ourselves. Feel free to put any questions in the chat. I'll keep monitoring that to make sure. General education, Sharon Diaz, beautiful question. Really, the topics are up to the faculty. This is really faculty driven. We've got ideas. We will be putting out open calls to ask, you know, if there are any other ideas. So general education webinars, absolutely. You know, we can put those contents out. Excellent. I'll put the chat away for just a minute here and keep going. We will be moving back to showing off Rosetta Stone, our education in multicultural and diverse environments. You know, February is going to be a really good month. March, we have more Canvas, more Rosetta Stone, and Respondus lockdown browsers. Having the light and dark, the internet of the day in April, that's one for April 2nd. Please put that on your calendars. But that will be going on. That looks to be a very interesting topic, very thought-provoking. So quite a few things coming up. There'll be more. What we're trying to do is have an offering 1 to 2 times a month so that we make sure that we have, you know, everyone has the ability. They won't always be on Saturdays. Sometimes that works best, but they won't always necessarily have to happen on Saturdays. Please give us any feedback. Make sure Lynette knows. Please feel free to email me directly with, you know, certain ideas, thoughts, recommendations. We really want to make this reflective of everyone. Okay, moving on. You can jump to the next slide. Okay, faculty coaching with Anna Gonzalez. Anna has been in this position since October, and she is doing a phenomenal job. She has been working right now primarily with Denise Cologne in in Puerto Rico for online Spanish to get a sense of how her team is doing and figuring out the model essentially for faculty coaching. We really want to streamline the process between your academic director, your observations and walkthroughs, so that you feel that you have someone here who's putting your development, not just your thoughts and your trainings and your professional development, but your instructional development as a priority. We do want to highlight, acknowledge, or even establish faculty leaders at each campus. We will be moving to a model where each campus will have a be sure to mute, that'd be great. But we will have a model where every campus has a faculty coach, so you'll have a direct contact there that will help with making sure that you have had your walkthrough. If you're a full-time faculty, you've been evaluated, that evaluation is moving forward, collecting any information that we might need. As you'll see, there's some things coming up that we're excited about, and Anna will be the focal point for that. And really it is that additional support point from main campus. Lynette is phenomenal again, like I said, she's irreplaceable, but really that tracks more training and making sure that the content and delivery there is great with training. Anna is more in the development of your skill set and the development and the efficacy of our faculty. So we need an impartial advocate for excellence in instruction. This person doesn't, operate inside of each campus, so they are sort of removed from that process, but they are here to make sure that how you can best develop and to work with academic directors to really highlight those folks who are doing a fantastic job and to improve the skills of those who might be new. Obviously we all have to learn. We don't get perfect at everything right off the bat. And we're empowering the different approaches. What I'm really excited about, especially in Canvas, is to be able to highlight these things and have all of the, thank you very much, Jose. We will get respondents lockdown browser back in. Yes, so what we're doing is empowering different areas and different folks who are at different campuses to be highlighted in the university system. As Dr. Bean said, we are no longer Universidad Ana Jiménez, we are AGMU now, we are the university. We are a very, very big contingent, and we want to make sure that if someone is doing a phenomenal job or doing something outside of the box or doing something that may help students in other areas, we want to make sure that they have a platform to be highlighted and be kind of acknowledged for that, because what may work in Tampa Bay may not work in South Florida right away, but ideas could, practices could. We should be sharing these things cross-platforming and cross-campus to make sure that there's no loss in quality across the university system. Not that there is now, but just to make sure that we can work as a very large team for every student, regardless of where they're attending. And again, we want to elevate our faculty and provide the best experience for our students. We are very proud to have everyone here who is a faculty member, full-time, part-time, a school director, a school dean, academic directors. This is, I know I've only been here a short time, but this is a very welcoming bunch. This is a great place to be. I am blown away by the attitude of this faculty, specifically in that everyone joins meetings early or definitely on time, and everyone is just so friendly saying good morning. It is a fantastic environment, and we want to keep that vibe going. So what's next from faculty coaching? Anna will be assisting in the observations and walkthroughs, for, again, like I said, for full-time faculty. Evaluations will be an area where you'll see Anna come up quite a bit. But for everyone else, it's the observations and walkthroughs. That's something that we really want to make sure that we get time in classrooms and seeing all of you out there doing exactly what you do. Faculty bios and credentialing. These are big pushes for 2022, is to make sure that we have a bio on on record for every instructor, because this helps in getting copies of textbooks to review. Maybe it's something you want to use in your class, something you want to access. And credentialing is to make sure that those of you who are teaching these courses, are qualified to teach the courses, and that you have the opportunity to teach whatever might be in your field. If we get your credentialing locked in, that could open up other opportunities for you. It's very exciting. So keep getting those degrees, keep pushing yourself, keep updating your CVs, and we will be reaching out for all of that. And ultimately, it's just increased commitment to elevating the university through faculty development. Our students are amazing. They are one part of this equation. The other part is the faculty. So if we have great faculty, it's sort of a reciprocal relationship, absolutely. Great students, great faculty, chicken or egg, which one came first? So that could be argued on and on, I'm sure. But really, if we can improve both ends, I know that, main campus academics improves the student experience through faculty. So we'll address it from that area. Claire Brady's team will address it from having quality students who are knowledgeable and really bring this to the austere and impressive heights, elevated to where we know this university can be. So that will do it for me. I will monitor the chat and respond to anyone who's put a question out there. I will stop rambling on everyone and then hand it back over to Dr. Beans.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Bill. Thank you everyone for joining us today. I know these before the session starts, Saturday meetings can sometimes be daunting, but I think that it gives us an opportunity to all get together and say hello and for you to know what is going on. I hope that as we move into the future, we're hearing more from faculty. I've seen in the chat numerous people offering to bring some information, do a presentation, do some, whether it's a topic that you're a fan of or something you want to see, we want to know that, because that's going to help us to stay all engaged. So make sure that you're sending those to Lynette, copy your school dean or your academic director, even if you want to, so we know that you're doing it. And let's start putting some of these together. While they may need to be remote or online for now, some may be able to be in person eventually once we're able to all get back together in bigger spaces. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you have questions, if you have concerns, if there's something that we need to do, because I always tell my team that if you think I'm going to hear it through the grapevine, I'm not. It doesn't talk to me at all. I never hear anything through the grapevine. So let me know if there's something that is going on and you've gone through your academic director, or you've talked to your dean, or it's something maybe that is just happening on campus and you think that I really should know, because you are all my responsibility to make sure that we're educating our students and we're giving them the content, but we also want to make sure that we're taking care of our faculty. So make sure that you don't hold something back, okay? I have an open door policy. While I don't suggest everybody coming into the office and visiting me, that means you can also email me or give me a call if there's something that you need me to know. I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful spring session. And there'll be more news coming out about course scheduling and how we're going to look at the 6-week schedule and what's going to come about and how that's going to look as we move forward. I may decide that we're going to have another meeting towards the end of this spring because there's a lot happening. So if you hear that I call a meeting, it's certainly for positive reasons, just to give you information. So I appreciate you all. I really do. Having been a faculty member, I know how hard it is. I always say that, you can be any job in the world and you get to have those days where you're just not having good days. When you're a faculty member, you walk in that classroom, you have to be on from the minute you're in there to the minute you leave, because those students need to see and get information from the experts, and that's you guys. So I appreciate you all. And I know you all have meetings coming up with your academic directors, so have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you for sharing your Saturday morning with us. And send me any questions, comments, or anything that I should, be aware of, and I'm happy to read those. Have a
Perfect.
Thank you.
great afternoon.
Before we wrap up, Dr. Beans, before we leave, I'm going to place the links for the meetings into the chat, just in case anyone missed the invite from their academic director. I know some Metro Orlando already happened this morning at 9 a.m. The recording will be ready shortly, and Rosa Musi will send that out to you all. And for Dallas area campus, your meeting is this Wednesday, January 19th at 5 p.m. Please watch your emails from the link from Nancy Santiago. But hang just a moment and I will put in for Tampa Bay, for South Florida, and for online Spanish. Your meeting links will be in the chat shortly.
Thank you.
See, I told you he's the tech guy. He's
Thank you so
great,
much.
isn't he?
Thank you, Bill.
Right. So here is Tampa Bay.
And we will get this translated and out to everyone. So hopefully we can make sure that everybody gets all the information.
These are not formatted for some reason. Zoom wants to take away the formatting that I'd done. These were nice and concise. And so of course, now Zoom's gonna put the long links. Here is South Florida. This also starts at 12 p.m. There we go. As I mentioned, Dallas and Metro Orlando won't have a link right now. Dallas will be on Wednesday. Metro Orlando will have a recording soon. And for Denise Cologne, there we are. Yes, Denise, you are having yours on Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. And I've put those all in the chat. Please, again, thank you for attending this morning, and enjoy the afternoon. Enjoy your meetings with your academic directors. Have an awesome 2022.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Happy
Thank
good
you.
day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day. Bye.
Bye. Bye. See you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Have a nice day.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Uh,
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Gracias a todos. Buenos días. Thanks so much.